All right, what's going on, guys? Connor Unchained. We are back today. I'm going to be talking about a very undervalued narrative in the crypto space today that has been around for a little while, but in my opinion, I feel like this year at some point it's going to pick up very heavily. So let's jump into it. I'm going to talk about a bunch of different stuff, encompassing this narrative, and I'll give you guys a couple projects that I think do have some great long term potential. So, the narrative I'm talking about today is decentralized science. You may have heard of it before, other people may have talked about it before, whether on another YouTube channel. You might have seen it on Twitter, just scrolling around, you're looking up your favorite tickers, your favorite projects. But there's a lot to the DeSci narrative that I feel like you guys should know, so I want to point that out right now. So we're going to go to CoinGecko, categories, go to number 89. So as you can see, the market cap for DeSci is literally not even a billion in market cap. We're sitting at 970 million, which is tiny for such a strong narrative that has, real people, real research, real partners, real everything going for it. This is not meme coins, this is not any of these vaporware narratives, guys. Like these are real companies that have real backing, looking up real utilities and real research, I'll say real another 10 times. Like this this is a very legit narrative that is just very slept on in my opinion. So as you can see, outside of Origin Trail, oh, excuse me. This narrative is probably around 500 million total, which again, tiny. But so, before you even start looking deep into this, you guys can see that a lot of the projects listed here, they do have DAO at the end of them. So they got Hair DAO, they got VitaDAO, Valley DAO, Athena DAO, Genomes DAO, Cryo DAO here. You got a bunch of these that again I'm gonna go into in a second, but all of these DAO projects that I just mentioned, they're all created by basically a more large project, one that kind of encompasses all of them, because this company here, bio.xyz and molecule.xyz, which are they're similar, they're the ones that have actually funded all these other bio projects that I just mentioned. I'm sorry, not bio. These other DAO projects. So we got molecule.xyz right here. They have funded, and basically created these sub DeSci narrative projects. And what I'm talking about, I'll show you in a second. It's like we got VitaDAO here. Molecule has funded VitaDAO. Molecule has funded Athena DAO, DeSci DAO, all these DAO projects that I just mentioned, they are all funded and basically incubated through this molecule.xyz or bio.xyz. And personally though, I've been looking at what the difference between what bio.xyz and molecule.xyz is I think one of them is a full out launch pad to launch, your own DeSci DAO, basically to fund your own research into looking into different stuff that isn't already out or existing. But then Molecule, I think, they're aiming to be like a go-to Web3 platform / marketplace that encompasses everything around these DAOs and their research and stuff like that. But at the same time, on both platforms, you can apply for funding. But that's what these platforms are about. And again, if I'm wrong, if anything sounds off, or I'm just completely wrong, you guys can let me know in the comments. This is just what I've got out of looking into it. I've been looking into DeSci for a while now. I have not, come back to this site for a while, because it really hasn't moved too much as a narrative yet. But I just feel like it's important to keep this stuff on your radar. But yeah, so that kind of encompasses all these DAO projects. There's going to be a couple more I'm going to jump into in a second. But like I said, these are all funded through this platform here. And also VitaDAO, though, is actually pretty interesting because they have closed. I mean, this was in January of last year, but they closed a funding round with Pfizer for longevity research. Um, yeah, the decentralized autonomous organization told CoinDesk that crypto enthusiasts, including Vitalik, however you want to pronounce it, have long been interested in funding research to extend human life. Um, but yeah, I guess there is $4.1 million with Pfizer, which is obviously a massive, massive company, right? To be partnered with, or not even partnered with, just getting funding by, right? Definitely an interesting one though. Um, There's something else too I want to bring up with it. But so yeah, according to VitaDAO, Pfizer is the first pharmaceutical company to vote on DAO proposals and participate in the incubation and commercialization of VitaDAO projects. Proceeds from the latest round will go towards funding longevity research projects and building out VitaDAO's first biotech startup. And so yeah, so I guess it looks like with these these DAO projects that were created by Bio XYZ, Molecule XYZ, they go down to VitaDAO, HairDAO, the other DAO projects. What it sounds like is it looks like through these other DAO projects, they're actually trying to incubate other startups from that as well, which is really interesting. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about VitaDAO. They do have a big funding round. I don't know if you want to call it a partnership. I don't think it's a partnership, but that's still a big come up for them for that. That's huge. But so there's really one project, well, two. So I want to bring up ResearchCoin too, which is another interesting one. This one's sitting around 40 million, 41, 42 million, if you want to, whatever you want to call it. Website's researchhub.com. This one's pretty interesting. It's, let me dive into the docs because I know they're going to give you guys a perfect description. So if I try to talk it out, it's going to be mumbo jumbo for a minute and a half. So Research Hub docs. Let's see, what is Research Hub? A tool for the open publication and discussion of scientific research. Much better than I could have put. So Research Hub users are rewarded with ResearchCoin for publishing, reviewing, criticizing, and collaborating in the open, talking about science, basically, which it's pretty cool. You're basically getting rewarded to, continue to research and talk about things, and give your own opinion on things. To me, it sounds similar to another project that is launching, and they're aiming to be like a GitHub, but you actually get rewarded for contributing, because obviously with GitHub, when you got open source stuff like that, there's no way that you can actually make money, if you're just trying to create things. But there's a protocol coming soon that they're aiming to reward users that actually participate and contribute, to their platform just for your research. And that's kind of what Research Hub is. Research Hub is like specifically for science, but the one I'm talking about is just for general coding and any framework like that. But again, that's out of the question. I just wanted to bring that up because it's interesting. It's a very great idea, I think, just for crypto. To be able to fund stuff and actually earn money from, your own contributions, thoughts, and your own research, right? But that's what Research Hub is. And there's something I wanted to pull up with this. So they got Brian Armstrong, which is the co-founder and CEO of Coinbase. He's also a huge advocate for scientific research. And it's interesting because you wouldn't think to see, Brian Armstrong, like the founder of Coinbase, just, on and off on this platform, actually talking about, decentralized science stuff, right? But he's been somewhat active, A few months ago, he was on this somewhat. 2 months ago, he made a couple contributions, just random stuff, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. This is a pretty cool project. I think literally at 40 million. I don't know. I haven't looked at the tokenomics at all yet. I don't know how they look, but looking at the market cap to FTV, depending on how the tokenomics are, and how hype DeSci can get over the next 6 to 12 months, you know, for me personally, there's no telling on where this could go right now. But I think that's very bullish for what it is. I'm like, where? Let me pull up the documentation for 1 second, because I wasn't gonna go into any projects except one right now, but I decided to jump into this one. All right, so let's see what they got for tokenomics. Major token metrics. Okay, so yeah, I assume a big chunk is going to be given to contributors. Okay, so they got a total supply here. So it's what? I think what, 1 billion? So 600 million is going to the community. 50 million RSC a year. Okay, so yeah, bottom line, most of this will be going to community members. It looks like there is a capped supply. Yes, it looks, I don't know. Tokenomics, they look okay. Just off first glance. I don't know. But bottom line, I think as far as the platform goes, it's definitely a very bullish platform. I like that. Like, I'm a huge advocate for stuff like that. Being incentivized to basically spend your time researching and, pushing an infrastructure or pushing the boundaries of whatever it is, in this case, science. I love that. But yeah, like I said, there's probably gonna be more tokens that jump onto the market over the next few months, maybe a couple of years. But it doesn't look too bad. But that's ResearchCoin. Again, and my goal in this video is not to even jump into that project, but I wanted to jump into Data Lake, guys, because this is probably one of the top DeSci projects on the market right now. Sitting at only 22 million, which is still tiny. As you can see, obviously this was a newer one. This was launched in 2023 though as well. Came down, and the chart's been kind of up and down for a while, but it is on a dip right now, around 2.5 cents. So we're gonna go check Data Lake. Let me close these other windows too. So this is Data Lake. Data Lake has a lot of stuff going on. So what they focus on is ethical data for healthier and longer lives, and they aim, like, what am I talking about? They focus on medical data. Data Lake is proud to work together. Where is the information I saw? Will help advance research and improve access to treatment. So they focus on just, I guess, patient data and being able to consent. Yeah, this sentence right here. We supply an unprecedented depth of insight based on real-world clinical data. We do it by empowering patients to easily consent to sharing their medical history through our data donation framework. That's a great way to put it. This is some of their products and services: patient pathway analytics, consent management system and patient engagement, patient registries, data processing and governance tools, anonymous health and data sets. It's very interesting, in my opinion. And something to note is they actually were funded by the European Union, which is huge. Medical data, EU funding. Data Lake implements the project co-financed by the European funds. Data Lake system, a solution enabling safe and transparent transfer of medical data for purposes other than providing healthcare services, for research and development purposes. So pretty interesting stuff here. And they do have a doxed solid team. So we'll check that here. And like I said about DeSci, there's a lot going on in this narrative, but it seems like most of the projects that are here, they are very serious about, really pushing the envelope for Web3 and, well, basically science in Web3. Like these aren't just shit coins that are launching that, they're claiming this and that, and then 2 weeks later they're at zero. Like, they're building real products. They're trying to build real applications that, real businesses can actually use. We got the CEO of Data Lake here, serial entrepreneur, Forbes 25 under 25 and 30 under 30, which is really interesting. Another one, 25 under 25, 30 under 30, as well as being named in the top 100 women in AI and the top 100 most influential people in Polish healthcare. Then you got this person who's focused, strong IT focused background, Web3 expert, full stack blockchain. He's probably doing a lot of the dev work, or a lot of, I don't know, a bunch of different stuff. We got marketing here too. They got advisors, president of the Polish Hospital Federation, member of the President's Committee in the European Hospital Federation, former director of Polish e-health agency responsible for creating the national e-prescription system. Very interesting. And then, like I said, their main partnership is the European Union. That's very big. You don't hear about that too often with crypto projects, let alone projects of this tiny market cap. I feel like that's a huge opportunity, to be honest. Let's see. Yeah, this is a little thread too by MOIC Digital, just looking into Data Lake. It helps researchers find the right patients. Healthcare providers can provide or browse available research projects on Data Lake, gather data, and even set Lake rewards. Yeah, they partner with top pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, CZ Binance has talked about it in the past. Vitalik has invested, not in Data Lake, not claiming that at all, but he has talked about DeSci here and there over the last year, maybe 2 years. But he has invested in at least one or some DeSci projects in the past. So the process of patient recruitment and access to data is very inefficient. That's the current problem right now. $100 billion challenge in this industry. So their application was developed, obviously, to go against that. A platform enabling researchers to publish trials and healthcare providers to receive rewards for patient referrals. So they're solving a major problem in the healthcare sector as well, which is pretty cool. So that's a little thread. I wanted to see if I think that was all that I had on this. Yeah, I think that was mainly what I wanted to talk about. But I think Data Lake, just the opportunity for it is huge. Because like I said, there's a little bit of AI, with Data Lake here. But I think just being one of the most undervalued decentralized science projects, there's a lot of opportunity with this one. And I think the main opportunity is the fact that DeSci has not had that major catalyst yet to really push this to the next level. We just saw RWA coins go crazy over the last literal week, right? We had BlackRock, a lot of BlackRock things going on. Then Larry Fink talking about tokenization, stuff like that. Those are some big catalysts, to bring this stuff in, to get these coins, on the move. But for DeSci, it's still so tiny, and I feel like we have not had that full-out catalyst yet that's going to really take this to the next level. But the thing is in due time, there more than likely will be. Because, you gotta, and when you're in crypto like this, the best way to make money is to focus your attention where everyone else is not. And just based on the data with DeSci as a narrative, at least on CoinGecko here, it's listed, it's listed as literally under $1 billion in market cap. Maybe CoinGecko has a bunch more that are listed, but at the same time, there might just be other dead projects that haven't done anything. And this is where the attention, in my opinion, at some point will flow into. Because again, you got a real project here that's very strong fundamentally. It's like, this is not something to just be slept on for a while. That's why I think eventually money will rotate and flow into DeSci. Maybe some new science narratives, bioscience, whatever. Maybe nanotechnology, I forget what it's called, nanoscience or something. Like maybe there's going to be some sort of scientific narrative that just, or catalyst that just pumps everything, you know? And that's going to be the catalyst just to get this narrative started, to get it on the forefront before it really takes shape for the bull run, you know? But I think the fact that there is some AI sprinkled within a lot of this stuff is huge too. But like I said, DeSci is definitely a narrative to keep on your radar. And especially Data Lake here, probably my top gem in the space. Another one I like, you know, ResearchCoin is not bad. I do like Genome's DAO as well. I won't get into it. This video is already 20 minutes. I'm not going to talk about 6 different coins. You know, a lot of these are really interesting. Trial I talked about actually in a YouTube video maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But obviously this is down. It's not doing anything. Again, I think mainly because most of DeSci has not had any attention by any means, right? But other than that, I think that's what I wanted to cover today. Bottom line lesson out of this, guys, is focus your attention where people are not paying attention. You know, most people, if you guys are watching this and you're looking at decentralized science, a lot of you are probably thinking in your head, like, why would you even spend your time looking here? And I told you guys exactly why. It's because if you want to be at the forefront of a new narrative, which narratives are what basically drives this whole market, you need to be focusing your attention when there is no attention somewhere. You know, it's very hard, but that's what I've learned over the few years I've been in crypto. And that is where I've made, you know, most of my long-term gains, you know, is from focusing on, you know, basically thinking about where is the next potential narrative going to be, right? You know, you don't want to jump into the hype of the current narrative because usually you're going to get burned doing that. You want to focus on how you can find the newest narrative or the next narrative or even a narrative that's going to come in 6 months. You know, you want to sit on your hands and knees and just wait, you know, just jump in and hold strong, you know, just see where it takes you. So that's what I got for you guys today. Check out Data Lake, ResearchCoin, Genome's DAO. You know, you can even look at some of these like Iometis, Rejuve AI, Galleon. You know, I actually don't know what some of those are. But like I said, Data Lake is easily the gem for this cycle, in my opinion. I do hold Data Lake. I do not hold ResearchCoin, and I do not hold Genome's DAO, but they're both very strong too, in my opinion. Full disclosure with that, I do hold Data Lake, and I've just DCA'd into it over the last few months. Because like I said, I've been looking into this narrative for a while, but I've just never shared Data Lake when, you know, I've wanted to for a long time. But it's still just at great entries, great area for buys. But, you know, I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research, check this stuff out, and dive in when you guys are ready, or if you feel like you want to. So that's what I got for you guys today, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.